Hello wolves! Now while comic books give readers a huge plethora of emotions, there are times where such emotions as disgust, shock and sadness muddle into one. This is usually around the same time that they decide to kill off a major character in a brutal and unforgiving way. In today's video we will be taking a look at some, underline the some, a very small portion of some, underline, of the most brutal deaths in comic books. Now when I say brutal, I mean brutal as in how they were displayed, how they were killed, or brutal as in who killed them. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bloody death to be on this list. It could just be an iconic one. Heads up, I will be saying iconic quite a lot in this video. I apologise in advance. This video will probably be a part 1 if we can milk it enough for a part 2. Anyway, onto the video, in no particular order. I'm sure that most of you watching this know that the Ultimatum comics was far from perfect. This Marvel crossover event was written by Jeff Loeb with art from David Finch and was not received well by fans. Maybe it had something to do with the death of Marvel's most iconic superheroes. Let's start with the Wasp. After drowning in Manhattan, Janet's body was further abused by the villain, the Blob. Definitely not a menacing name, but wait until you hear what he does. He eats her. He actually fucking eats her. He eats her corpse. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It's cannibalism. This gruesome moment is brought to life by Finch's art, and I almost wish it hadn't. And I almost wish that he had the ability to draw like a toddler and it was more, just imagine it in your own head rather than look at it happening on the page. To no one's surprise, well except everyone, as soon as Hank Pym, aka Ant-Man, sees this giant cannibal tearing into his ex-wife's stomach, he reacts in the most rational way possible. For Hank. Rational for Hank. He grows into Giant Man, grabs the Blob like he's King Kong and he's Andarrow, but instead of an almost romantic and careful embrace, Hank rips the Blob's head off and, spits it right back out. That would have made for a really different and interesting King Kong movie. Hank also did this in front of his fellow Avengers like Iron Man and Hawkeye, who were disgusted, obviously. I mean, if they were cheering him on, it would be a bit weird. They were pretty shocked. So let's move on from Marvel to DC, and to one of the many deaths in the Injustice series. This series of comic books shows us a side to Superman that we have not seen before. Well, we don't get to see a lot. After the death of Lois Lane and their unborn child, Superman snaps. Although the Joker's death at the hand of the Man of Steel is definitely a gory one, it's not the one that I have picked for this video. The one that I have picked is the death of Black Canary. This one particularly rubs me up the wrong way because they were such close allies, and heroes killing villains, villains killing heroes don't rub me up the wrong way as heroes killing heroes. During the battle between the Sinestro Corps and the Green Lantern Corps, Black Canary makes her move, taunting the alien about his wife's death, which in itself is a low blow. Seeing how she made him angry, she pulls out a gun and shoots a kryptonite bullet straight through him. Superman hits the floor and she thinks she did it. She thinks she actually took him out and won. And unfortunately, unbeknownst to her, thanks to the help of a yellow power ring, he makes a pair of pliers and pulls the bullet out. Black Canary has no idea that he's done this, and it comes as total shock and surprise when Superman's heat vision goes straight through her stomach. But she does die knowing that the world now knows what Superman is truly like, and that he's not the hero that he proclaims to be. I don't know why, but that one always leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, heroes killing heroes, like, sort out your problems, you've got bigger fish to fry. In the Injustice series, I understand it, but still. Bigger problems. The death of Superman is a mega crossover event that started in December 1992 and finished in October 1993. This comic became the top-selling comic of 1992 and sold over 6 million copies. It's an iconic story that ends with an icon's death. Doomsday lays waste to Metropolis. With the help of various other superheroes, Superman tries to stop him. The two fight, leading them both to be exhausted. The final blow actually is outside the Daily Planet, Clark Kent's workplace. This resulting blow delivers a powerful strike that kills Doomsday and mortally injures Superman, who eventually dies in the arms of his love, Lois Lane. The death of Superman had a lasting effect on comics still felt to this day, and it came as a huge shock to the comic community when DC decided to kill one of their most well-known and beloved superheroes. Even mainstream media covered this story. Okay, up next we have the death of Rorschach. The Watchmen series, written by Alan Moore, introduced the world to Rorschach, a dark and gritty superhero with a mix of madness chucked in. After finding out that fellow superhero and Watchman Adrian Veidt was the one to murder the comedian and frame Rorschach for murder, all because of a plan that he has. The plan was to bring together the Soviet Union and the United States by faking an alien invasion, so that instead of fighting, they would focus on their common enemy. Now, most of the Watchmen agree to this plan, and I'm sure you can guess that Rorschach does not agree to this plan. He leaves, ready to tell the whole world the truth, but is stopped by Dr. Manhattan. This death is actually in a way quite beautiful because he takes off his mask and accepts what is coming. He accepts that he is going to be killed, and he walks into it wholeheartedly. And then Dr. Manhattan vaporizes him, which is nice, you know, only things left of him is blood on snow. Lovely! Now we've already covered Superman's death, let's move on to Supergirl's death. The cover of Crisis on Infinite Earth issue 7 is iconic. The art by George Perez depicts Superman holding the body of his cousin Supergirl as various heroes stand behind him. Do you notice I used the word iconic? I told you it will be used a lot in this video. After a short battle between Superman and Anti-Monitor, who actually manages to knock the Man of Steel out, Kara jumps in. She very nearly won, but a moment of distraction caused her demise. Anti-Monitor hits her with a deadly blast of energy, ending this version of Kara's life. She really was close to winning. She actually nearly won. Like, he was close to defeat. That's how unfair this death is. But she does die content to know that Anti-Monitor has been stopped. Elektra is considered to be one of the greatest assassins in the world, so it would make sense that Kingpin would want her to be his new assassin. Only catch, she's competing for the role against Bullseye. The two are forced to fight and the survivor gets the job with Kingpin. Sounds like an easy little challenge, sign me up. But tragedy strikes in issue 181 of Daredevil, written by Frank Miller, who actually also did the art. The competitors fight, both equal, until Bullseye manages to grab one of Elektra's size and stabs her in the chest. The sad part is, she doesn't even die there. She actually makes it to Matt's house, her former lover, and passes in his arms like so many of these deaths do. So let's move on. That was depressing. But let's move on from one dead girlfriend to another. Gwen Stacy. The death of Gwen Stacy is, like I said, way too much in this video, iconic. The death of his first love changed Peter. For better or worse, that's up for debate. Written by Jerry Conway and art by Gil Kane in 1973, The Amazing Spider-Man issue 121 is considered to be one of the best Spidey stories of all time. Having been led to a bridge by the Green Goblin, who had taken Gwen Stacy, Green Goblin and Spidey fight. Peter thinks he has beaten his enemy, but as he went to get Gwen, the Goblin speeds past him, throwing her from the bridge. And what follows is the classic image of Gwen Stacy in her boyfriend's arms. The web that Spidey shot to save her actually ended up killing her, whether it was snapping her neck or anything like that, we're not actually sure. This death was a huge mark in comic books. Significant others like this have not been killed off unless to further their origin story. Even Stan Lee didn't want this to happen, but apparently just waved the people away to say yes because he was busy and didn't realise what he was saying yes to. The death of significant others to superheroes is often titled the Gwen Stacy syndrome because it happens way too much now. Like, it was like Goldilocks just right then, way too much now. Kind of like the refrigerator syndrome. Way too much. Let's stop killing females just to further, like, the plot of a male character. No need. Jason Todd. Jason Peter Todd. If you have not seen any of my previous videos, then you do not know that he is my favourite comic book character and I hold him very dearly to my heart. And of course he'd be on this list, obviously. People really did not like Jason. He wasn't the happy-go-lucky Dick Grayson. So when DC held a phone-in to vote on whether he should die, you know they voted for the die option. 5,343 voted yes, while 5,271 voted no. Well, that's only a small difference. 5,343 still voted to kill off a child in an extremely brutal way. A Death in the Family, written by Jim Starlin, art by Jim Aparo, showcases just how manic the Joker really is. After being led to a remote location by who he thinks is his mother, he comes face to face with the Clown Prince. I'm sure nearly all of you know what happens next, but the Joker beats him with a crowbar, before rigging a bomb and leaving Jason to die. While the 5,343 got what they wanted, the rest of the comic book readers were horrified. But luckily we got him back as the Red Hood, and he's better than ever. And he's kicking ass and taking names. He's probably not taking names, he's probably just killing people, but maybe I don't know, maybe he takes names. And just as we started with the Ultimatum series, we are now ending with it. Dormammu is Doctor Strange's strongest enemy and he battles him regularly. In the Ultimatum universe, Dormammu, while using the Human Torch's powers, attacks the Sanctum, which naturally Doctor Strange tries to stop, but ultimately fails as Dormammu uses Stephen's cloak, his actual cloak, who is a boss-ass buddy, to strangle him, wrapping it around his neck so tight that his head flew off. His head flew off. The Ultimatum series killed off fan favourites, and like I said, The Wasp, Doctor Strange and so many more, just for shock value. There was not anything in these deaths that really favoured the plot. It was just, oh my god, they didn't. Did they? Oh my god, they killed him. How could they? Next page, everything's back to normal, or everyone's forgot that Doctor Strange has just fucking had his head blown off. So that is today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know that some of these were longer than others and some were shorter, but it's just a fun little video. It's not a detailed list video like Watch Mojo does. If you have any video suggestions, let me know. I have a pile of Origin videos that I want to get done, so if you want any of these out before the others, let me know. We've got a Black Knight, we've got a Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, US Agent. The Eternals may get Origin videos, separate ones obviously. If you would like that, let me know. If you have any preference on what comes first, let me know. How your day's been. You can also comment that. I don't mind. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. It is your opinion. Comment down below what you think of this video, anything like that, like I have said. I have a Twitter, Instagram and a Tumblr that you can follow if you really want to. No one is forcing you, but like, it is an option. And I will see you next time. Bye little wolves. Bye.